right, we are live. It's Michael McGreevy on the mound for the Cardinals today. He's going to be facing Shohei Ohtani at the top of the Dodgers order in just a moment. He has been really good at the big league level, a 1.96 ERA in 3 starts last season, and he pitched in 1 game this year, went 5 2/3 with a 0.35 whip and a 0 ERA so far this year. At the minor league level, it's been a little bit worse for McGreevy. His whip was at or above a 1.2 in each of those occurrences, so he hasn't been perfect over his entire career, but looks pretty good at the big league level, so hopefully it goes well today. But the first pitch to Shohei Ohtani was driven into the gap, and Ohtani is cruising into second with a double to start the game, so that's a rough start. Shohei on second base already. Dodgers trying to avoid a sweep, and that was the first pitch of the game. Looks like he just left a fastball on the outside part of the plate. It was just a good swing from Ohtani to drive it the other way. Nothing he could do about that. Not a terrible pitch either. So a man on second for Mookie Betts, and we are underway in St. Louis. Second pitch of the day, first one to Mookie. He's in there for a strike with the sinker on the outside corner. So it's 0-1 on Betts. The 0-1 pitch. He is low and away with the slider, 1-1. The 1-1 is driven to third base, but an incredible catch is made by Arenado. What a play by Arenado to prevent a run from scoring, prevent a hit from Betts, and it's the first out of the game for the Cardinals. It was a hanging slider, an absolute rocket over to third base, but Arenado leapt over there and made a grab that most third basemen wouldn't even dream of. 1 out, Ohtani on second for Freddie Freeman. So McGreevy still trying to settle in here. First pitch to Freddie. He is up and in. They're going to call it a ball. It was close. 1-0. Second pitch, caught the bottom of the zone with the sinker, 1-1. So we have Ohtani on second and Freddie at the plate. Both of those guys have over a 1 OPS this year, which is incredible. The 1-1 pitch. Another up and in cutter. That one was also well into the strike zone, and the umpire missed it. So that's a couple pitches now where he's just not calling that a strike, and that is okay as long as he's consistent. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Freddie Freeman. Sinker at the bottom of the zone, fouled off, 2-2. Freddie hitting .354 this year with 9 home runs in 54 games. Cardinals playing Freeman to pull, and here is the 2-2 for McGreevy. Drops a slider in the dirt. No chase that time. It's 3-2. So with a base open, it might not be the worst thing in the world as long as he throws a good pitch here. Let's see what happens. The 3-2 to Freddie. Goes outside with the sinker. It's fouled off, and we'll have to do it again. So a long at-bat, pretty good at-bat from Freeman, although he got a couple of favorable calls at the top of the zone. Let's see what McGreevy has for him on pitch 11. The 3-2 is pulled and caught at first by Contreras. Another rocket off of the bat of a former MVP, and another fantastic grab made by the Cardinal infield. It is Contreras and Arenado at the corners today with those great plays. They have Donovan at second, Wynn at short, Barrero in center today. So Victor Scott getting the day off against the left-handed pitching Kershaw. You have Burleson in right, Nootbaar in left, and Pedro Pajes behind the plate with Ivan Herrera at DH. As Teoscar Hernandez takes strike 1, it is 0-1. So McGreevy has a chance to strand Ohtani, just needs to get Hernandez. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Beautiful sinker on the outside corner, 0-2. McGreevy's really spotting up his pitches at the big league level. Way ahead of Teoscar Hernandez here. 2 outs, 0-2 count. Here's the 0-2 to Teoscar. Way outside with the slider, 1-2. Today, the Dodgers have Ohtani at DH, Mookie at short, Tommy Edman at second, with Freeman and Muncy on the corners, Will Smith behind the plate, Teoscar in right, Conforto in left, and Haesung Kim in center. So that is the same lineup as yesterday. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Slider low and away, doesn't get the swing, it's 2-2. So good eye there by Teoscar. He has a 272 average this year, 802 OPS with 10 home runs. Still a really nice season. The 2-2 pitch is up and in, ground ball to third. Arenado is there, and McGreevy pitches his way out of a leadoff double, still scoreless midway through 1. Here comes Clayton Kershaw and the Dodgers into the field. It'll be Nootbaar in the top of the Cardinal order when we come back. All right, so let's make our way over to Kershaw's numbers. Just going to do Savant, because everybody knows about Kershaw. We don't have to go into his minor league numbers. 1.66 whip so far this year with a 5.17. Not a whole lot of innings over the last season. Let's go back to 2023. So you can see he was still a really, really good pitcher in 2023. 18 pitching run value. That was 93rd percentile. One of the best breaking balls in baseball with 17 of those run value coming from that alone. And really good contact numbers across the board, along with a good strikeout to walk ratio. 26.2% strikeout rate, 7.6% walk rate, and a 47.8% ground ball rate. So Kershaw was really, really good in 2023. Recently, he's only had a total of 45 2/3 innings over the last 2 seasons. So he has produced negative run values over these 2 seasons, but it's a really small sample. I wouldn't think too much of it. He's trying to be their stopper here and prevent a sweep, and he's been a fantastic pitcher his entire career. So it wouldn't surprise me to see a great start here. So that's who we're going to be seeing when the game gets back. It'll be Kershaw against Nootbaar, a couple of lefty-lefty matchups. Nootbaar and Donovan will be hitting in the inning, so let's pull Brendan Donovan. 76th percentile in batting run value, a really nice Savant page for him. We'll get to see who wins that head-to-head in this upcoming inning. Nootbaar's the leadoff hitter. 8 batting run value, 748 OPS. Also a really nice page. He actually is a little bit below average in the expected batting average now. Took him a long time to have one of these show up as a below average number. But hopefully he can pull it together. The game is back. Kershaw on the mound. Here we go. First pitch to Nootbaar is low and in and popped up. So easy play for Freddie Freeman. And there is 1 out in the bottom half. So that's going to bring up Mason Wynn. He has the platoon advantage in this matchup, lefty-righty. Although Kershaw's been so good against everybody in his whole career that I don't even know if it's an advantage at this point. Hitting .277 this season. Here's the first pitch. Fastball just low, 1-0. Wynn has a 771 OPS on the year, 6 home runs. And the Dodgers are trying to hold on to a 1-game lead in the West. Slider catches the middle of the zone there, 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Catches the outside corner with the fastball, 1-2. So Wynn has taken all 3 pitches so far. He is ready. Here's the 1-2 from Kershaw. Slow curveball, fouled back, still 1-2. Over in Detroit, the Tigers do have a 2-0 lead over the Cubs. So that could be good for the Cardinals within their division. but it's pretty early to be watching other games. Just keep playing great ball. The 1-2 from Clayton Kershaw is a curveball down in the zone, easy ground ball to Muncy. He makes the play, 2 away in the first. So that'll bring up Brendan Donovan with 2 outs and nobody on. Donovan trying to make a bid for the All-Star team this year. He's been a really good second baseman. One of the hit leaders in all of baseball. .831 OPS with a .315 average. Here's the first pitch. Just low with the fastball, 1-0. Second pitch to Donovan is inside, but he gets the call. It is 1-1. So a little bit inconsistent from this umpire, given a little bit more space on that inside part of the plate. Here's the 1-1. Low and in. Donovan goes down and gets it and drives it out to right field. That's going to be a base hit. And Kim ranges over, makes the throw to second, but it is a double for Brendan Donovan. So it was in the gap, ranged Kim back, and due to the hustle of Brendan Donovan, it is extra bases. So a man on second now with 2 outs for Wilson Contreras. Looks like Kershaw knew that was going to be extra bases right off the bat. But the outfield was able to cut it off, so Donovan's hustle did pay off. He stands on second with 2 outs. Here's the first pitch from Kershaw to Contreras. Out of the stretch. Down and in, it's fouled off, 0-1. Kershaw's at 10 pitches now. His ERA already below 5. That's how small the sample's been on the year. Here's the 0-1. Up and in, popped up, foul. It's 0-2. Contreras has played 60 games this year with a .716 OPS, 7 home runs, a 37 RBIs, and a 0.7 WAR. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Kershaw. Drops the slider in the dirt. It's 1-2. The Cardinals went from ranked 27th in batting average with runners in scoring position last year to 7th in that stat this year. So a lot of timely hitting is helping out the roster so far this year. Let's hope it continues with this at-bat. Kershaw's ready. Checks on Donovan, and here's the 1-2 pitch. Upstairs, 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Still scoreless in St. Louis. Kershaw is ready. The 2-2 to Contreras. Drops that curveball below the zone. It's 3-2. Contreras does have a lot of history against Kershaw. None of it super good. A 125 average, 3 for 24. With 1 home run and 10 strikeouts. So at least he has a home run. Arenado's also seen a lot of Kershaw, and it's gone a little bit better for him. We'll get there when we get there. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Contreras with Donovan on second. Down and in for strike 3. And down goes Contreras. We go to the second, still scoreless. It'll be Muncy, Will Smith, and Conforto. So we've seen Muncy a couple times this series. 6 batting run value. As usual, he walks a ton. 98th percentile in that stat. Really nice expected WOBA, just a good hitter. And if you continue to just go back, he produces numbers like this almost every year. 15.4% walk rate last year. 15.3% walk rate this year. 14.7% 2 years ago. So like a metronome, shows up each year. Same exact walk rate. Sees the ball really, really well. The fielding hasn't been great for Muncy, but playing third is a very tough position. And there's only one Arenado, so tough to live up to that type of defensive reputation. Will Smith has been absolutely incredible as well. He has improved upon his last couple of seasons. Let's look at the walk rate change. It was 9.4% last season. This year, up at 15.8%, which is one of those Muncy type numbers. He has 15 batting run value. Really nice expected WOBA at 393. Launch angle sweet spot, 96th percentile at 43%. That's incredible. Chase rate, pretty low at 19.2%. That's 94th percentile. So just really, really good approach from Will Smith this year, and it's paying off. Looks like all of his home runs have been to left field, so that's something to note. That's something that Arenado has as well. We go back to 2022. He was one of the better hitters in baseball at that time as well. Stayed up around there in 2023, and then it fell off a little bit last season, but he's picked it back up so far this year. And McGreevy has strike one on Muncy. So let's get back to the game. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Smoked up the middle. That one's going to be a base hit. And Max Muncy is on base with nobody out in the second. So back-to-back leadoff hitters have reached for the Dodgers. So here comes Will Smith with a man on and nobody out. McGreevy dealing with another base runner. Here's the pitch. Top of the zone cutter is a strike. It's 0-1. Second pitch to Smith is just downstairs with the slider, 1-1. McGreevy at 20 pitches on the day. It is the second inning. The 1-1 is rocketed up the middle for another base hit. That's going to be a chance to go first to second, I guess. So I guess it was Muncy on first, so they did not want to risk the first to third. It wasn't a super hard hit ball, but over 90 miles an hour, and that is fast enough to prevent the advance. So runners on first and second with nobody out, and here comes Michael Conforto. This series, the Dodgers are 1 for 28 with runners in scoring position. Here's the pitch. It's outside 1-0. Cardinals are a much more reasonable 3 for 13 with runners in scoring position. So McGreevy looks to hold the Dodgers down. Here's the 1-0. Top of the zone, fouled back, 1-1. You have a really young, I think he qualifies as a rookie for this season, Michael McGreevy against the veteran, former All-Star, future Hall of Famer, Clayton Kershaw. So that's a fun matchup. The 1-1 catches the outside corner, 1-2. I guarantee you McGreevy's looked up to Kershaw over the years, looked at some of the strategies, and learned from him. Because any pitcher who doesn't would be a fool. And Conforto steps out. It's still 1-2. Tommy Edman is waiting on deck, the former St. Louis Cardinal. Traded last deadline prior to winning the championship. The 1-2 pitch from McGreevy to Conforto is upstairs, 2-2. It'll be a couple of guys who qualify for the Korean team, Edman and Kim, coming up after this. Here is the 2-2 from McGreevy to Conforto. Missed downstairs with the slider. Ball got away, but he stayed in front of it. Pedro Pajes with a nice block. 3-2 on Conforto. This is a pitch you really need to make because you can't load the bases with nobody out. That's just a recipe for disaster. So let's see what McGreevy has in the tank. Pitch 27. The 3-2 is popped up. Deep to left field, but Nootbaar is there. Makes the grab. Makes a throw to third. And the runners do not advance. So runners on first and second with one out. And that's going to bring up Tommy Edman. So there is going to be another standing ovation from the St. Louis Cardinal faithful. Not as long as the first game of the series, so Edman steps right up to the plate. Here's the first pitch from McGreevy. Ground ball through the hole for a base hit. That's going to score a run. And the Dodgers lead 1-0 early in this one with runners at the corners. Just a slow grounder up the middle, a classic Tommy Edman delivering once again. And the Dodgers lead this one early. Up and away. Tommy just got the barrel to the ball, drove it right up the middle where the defense was not. Great piece of hitting from Edman. Earlier this year, he was Tommy Tanks. Now he's just good old Tommy Edman. Hasn't hit a home run in a while. McGreevy checks on Edman at first. And it is Hye-Sung Kim at the plate. With runners at the corners and one out. Here's the first pitch. Swing and a miss at the top of the zone. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch is upstairs, 1-1. Kim hitting .411 so far this year. A .995 OPS and 2 home runs. The 1-1 pitch. Pulled fair down the right field line. That's going to drive in a couple of runs, and it'll be a double for Kim. It is 3-0 LA. It's actually going to be a triple. My bad. I forgot Kim was a speedy 9-hitter. Good stolen base guy. He is now on third with one out, so a chance for the Dodgers to make it 4 with Shohei Ohtani coming up to the plate. That pitch got in on the hands, but Kim just kept it fair with a really, really nice swing. And Edman's hustle easily scores him, standing up. So Dusty Blake is going to go out and talk to Michael McGreevy. He's at 31 pitches. It is just the second inning. He's through 1 1/3. So one time through the order, 3 runs already scored by the Dodgers. Ohtani coming up to the plate with a man on third. McGreevy looking for a strikeout, a pop-up, anything that won't score this run. And the infield might come in. I would only bring the infield in on the left-hand side. First pitch to Ohtani is outside, 1-0. I think Ohtani hits the ball hard enough that bringing the infield in at second base with Brendan Donovan doesn't seem reasonable. Just makes the play harder. The 1-0 is a swing and a miss, 1-1. Because he's going to hit the ball hard enough for Donovan to be able to make the throw to the plate either way. So you don't need to bring him in too far. But Kim is a fast runner. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Ohtani. In the dirt, 2-1. Two-one pitch to Shohei. He's inside, ground ball to first. Contreras steps on the bag and looks Kim back to the bag. So nice play by Contreras. Good results on that one. Now they just need to get Mookie Betts, and they can strand that runner on third and hold the Dodgers to just 3 runs here. 3 runs is a game you can come back in. 4 just looks a lot more difficult. Here's the first pitch to Mookie Betts. Sinker low and away for a strike, 0-1. McGreevy is ready. His 37th pitch. He is driven up the middle. That's going to get to Wynn, who's going to try to make a great play, and he will. What a play by Mason Wynn to prevent a run from scoring and steal a hit from Mookie Betts. Betts has been getting robbed all day so far. I'm sure he's not happy about it, but what a play by Wynn at shortstop. Ooh, we're going to have to see if Contreras stayed on the bag there. This one's going to be challenged. That throw might have been just too far off the bag for Contreras to stretch. Mookie thought he was off the bag. We're going to have to take a look here. So Wynn ranged all the way out, tried to make a spinning throw back to first, but his momentum carried the throw over. Contreras reaches out. It looks like he's off the bag. It's probably going to be a hit for Betts. And a 4-0 ball game. I'm not sure it's clear and convincing, but it looks like his foot is probably off the bag. It would have been an absolutely incredible play by Wynn. And it was incredible that he even got it that close, but he needed the throw to just be a centimeter closer. Wow. I'm not sure it's clear and convincing. They have the replay. Camera up. The ladies in New York. The view getting shown. All right, so the Dodgers lost their challenge. The call did stand because Contreras' toe could have been on the bag. I don't think it was 100% sure. So what a play by Wynn. Incredible. Physically, I don't know if he was out. I would say he was more likely safe, but either way, the fact that Wynn was able to get out there and make that play is incredible. And he held that to a 3-run lead for the Dodgers. It will be Herrera, Arenado, and Burleson. That's a 927 OPS so far this year for Herrera. He's been a fantastic hitter. Not a perfect catcher, but he's 25 years old. Just an absolute weapon to have on the roster. He'll be due up first. Let's take a look at Mason Wynn's outs above average, because that's going to be a new one. He already had 8, which is 98th percentile. He's probably got another one today. Contreras is going to be hitting. He also made a good play at first base. He has 4 outs above average at first, so that's probably going to go up as well. Really nice play made on that Freddie line shot. So Herrera, let's go get Burleson as well. 759 OPS, 1 batting run value, so pulling that up. Still squares it up a lot. The launch angle isn't great, but he tries his best. First pitch is a strike to Herrera. Second pitch is in there at the top of the zone. Doesn't get the call, 1-1. One to Ivan is a strike low and in with the curveball, 1-2. That's a nice pitch. The 1-2 pitch is low, 2-2. Herrera's only played 32 games, so about half of what most players have. A little bit above half. With 6 home runs and 927 OPS, the 2-2 pitch is low and in, 3-2. Herrera batting 5th today between Contreras and Arenado. The 3-2 from Kershaw. Swing and a miss on a slider outside. Came back to the middle of the plate. And down goes Herrera. So 1 man out. Nobody on for Arenado. Kershaw looks like he was playing catch in shorts this morning on the St. Louis mound. First pitch missed low and away, 1-0. Kershaw had some words after that call. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Outside, 2-0. Arenado hitting just below 300 in his career against Kershaw. A lot of at-bats. Here's the pitch. Ground ball foul, 2-1. That was a slider way below the zone. Arenado chased it. Arenado at 59 games this year. The 2-1 is pulled foul, 2-2. Hitting .241 with a .695 OPS, 7 home runs, 32 RBIs. WAR at 1.1. Also had a walk-off earlier in the series. That was yesterday. 2-2 pitch. Outside with the splitter, 3-2. So another 3-2 count. Kershaw is ready. The 3-2 to Arenado is popped up, playable in foul territory, and caught by Freddie Freeman. So 2 down in the second. It's still 3-0 Dodgers. That's going to bring up Alec Burleson. Lefty-lefty matchup here. Burleson hitting .289 with a .759 OPS. First pitch is going to catch the bottom of the zone with the slider, 0-1. Second pitch to Burleson is driven up the middle. That's going to get stabbed by Mookie Betts, but the throw will miss. And Burleson has an infield single. So Mookie tried to match Mason Wynn, just couldn't make a throw that quickly. One man on with 2 outs. On what was a rifle shot by Burleson. Most of the time that's a hit without a chance at getting robbed, so a good play by Betts to even make it close. Anyway, one man on, here comes Pedro Pajes, who's had a pretty good series. Kershaw delivers, and it's in there for a strike, low and away, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Pedro. Low and away again with the slider, popped away, 0-2. Pajes hitting .222 this year with a .653 OPS. 5 home runs, 22 RBIs. 47 games is a pretty big sample at catcher. He's been the better defensive catcher all year. The 0-2 to Pajes. Swing and a miss on a curveball below the zone. Down goes Pedro, and we go to the third. Still 3-0. LA. So it's going to be Freddie, Teoscar, and Muncy. That was a great time to grab Freddie's stats. I will be right back. All right, I am back. Freddie Freeman will be up when we get back, so let's see. Hasn't had any value in the fielding or base running, but really incredible hitter this year. 352, 421, 598 for a 1.019. Strikes out under 20%. Walks over 10. That's a really nice line. All right, McGreevy versus Freeman. First pitch. He is downstairs with the curveball. 1-0. Let's make sure we're live. The 1-0 pitch. Sinker right down the middle. It is 1-1 on Freddie. Freeman is 0 for 1 today. 352 average on the year. 9 home runs. Over a 1.0 OPS. The 1-1 pitch. Fouled away, 1-2. McGreevy has reached 40 pitches on the day. So we'll see how long he can extend into this game after a rough second inning. The 1-2. Low and in with the slider. Strikes him out. Down goes Freeman. So he is 0 for 2 today. Hit a rifle back in the first, but it was robbed by Contreras. So that'll bring up Teoscar Hernandez. First pitch to Hernandez. Swing and a miss on a slider outside. It's 0-1. Hernandez is 0 for 1 in the game so far. Stranded Ohtani at second. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Just outside with the sinker, 1-1. One pitch. Swing and a miss. Great slider there. 1-2. So 1 out, nobody on. McGreevy trying to settle back in after a 3-run second inning. Put the Dodgers on top 3-0 in this one. Teoscar's been good this year with 2 strikes. A .234 average compared to the league average at 170. The 1-2 pitch. Grounded foul. 1-2. Second 1-2 pitch. This one grounded over to first. Contreras makes the flip, and McGreevy makes the play. 2 outs. And that's going to bring up Max Muncy. You know, at some point in the series, the Dodgers were going to break through. So 3 runs, it's not the worst thing that could possibly happen. If McGreevy can settle in and give you 5 or 6 with just 3 runs, that's a pretty good outing. And it gives the team a chance to come back and give yourself a chance to win the game. So 2 outs, nobody on. Here comes Max Muncy. First pitch is check swing, fouled off. 94, low and in. 0-1. McGreevy is ready. Here's the second pitch to Muncy. Upstairs with the cutter, 1-1. Muncy is 1 for 1 in this one. Did end up coming around to score a run. Had an absolute rocket of a single back in the second. 1-1 pitch. Low and in with the slider. 2-1. So 2-1 count, 2 outs, nobody on in the third. Pitch 50 of the day for McGreevy. Here it is. Popped up. Playable over at third for Arenado. He'll get called off by Wynn, who makes the play. So Cardinals are through 3. They've allowed 3 runs. Trying to fight back in this one. We go to the bottom of the third. 3-0 LA. So it'll be Barrero, Nootbaar, and Wynn. So righty, lefty, righty against Clayton Kershaw. Barrero's a guy we haven't taken a look at. Over his last 3 seasons, he has a 401 OPS, a 618 OPS, and a 600 OPS. So based on the sample, I mean, you can expect about a 600 over the course of his career. He does have a -2 batting run value this year in 18 at-bats, which isn't too bad. -1 out above average. He came up as a shortstop. He's playing center field right now, so that can't help. But he does have a home run. He is 3 for 18 on the year. 4 runs scored. So that's not too bad. Hopefully he can have a good day. Wynn has been simply incredible so far this year. 771 OPS. I mean, the fielding, what he's shown earlier. The man can really move. 82nd percentile in sprint speed as well. That's allowed him to get 3 stolen bases this year. Cardinals don't steal with him as much as Victor Scott, because Scott has that 30 feet per second sprint speed. Gives him the chance to rack up a lot more. So here we go. First pitch to Barrero's popped up foul, 0-1. Kershaw does have 3 strikeouts on the day so far. The 0-1 pitch to Barrero is right down the middle with an 89-mile-an-hour fastball, fouled back, 0-2. So we'll see if Barrero can extend this at bat here. I bet Kershaw goes right after him. The 0-2. Curveball right down the middle. Struck him out. He swung right over that one. It's a 1 out with nobody on in the 3rd. So that is the 4th strikeout of the day for Kershaw. Smart plan by Kershaw there to go to the off speed but still attack the zone. Really tough pitch to adjust to. It has a lot of vertical movement. So 1 out. Here's the first pitch to Nootbaar. It is low and away with the slider, 1-0. That would be a really nice time for Nootbaar to get on base. The 1-0 pitch is taken on the lower outside corner for a strike at 90 miles an hour, 1-1. Making it a long at bat would be a good strategy as well. The 1-1 pitch, inside, 2-1. See if Nootbaar can extend an at-bat here. Try to draw a walk. The 2-1. Swing and a miss on a slider low and away. It's 2-2. So bad chase there from Nootbaar, but a really good pitch from Kershaw. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss on a slider low and away, and down goes Nootbaar. That's his first strikeout of the day. The 5th of the game for Kershaw. In just 2 2/3 innings. So Kershaw having a great performance so far. See if Mason Wynn can try to break this up. First pitch. He's in there for a strike, low and away with the slider, 0-1. That was a great pitch. Second one to Win. He goes down and smacks it into the gap in left center. But it is caught on the run by Kim. What a running play by Hai-Sung Kim. He did bump his knee into the wall, so we'll maybe take a look at that, but he seems to be jogging in okay. We'll go to the 4th, 3-0 LA. Incredible catch, truly. So there's Hai-Sung Kim making a crazy play. Let's see if we can pull up his numbers. He'll be due up 4th in this upcoming inning. Already hit a triple today. 995 OPS, 5 batting run value. The outs above average at -3, so that surprises me. I mean, he just made a crazy play in center field. So maybe he doesn't do well at second base. Really nice bat. He also strikes out below average at 20.3%. Doesn't walk enough at 5.1%, but you can do whatever you want as long as you're hitting 441. Has he walked at all? Oh, he has. Okay. Oh, okay. I saw the 411 and the 441 and thought it was the same number. It'll be Will Smith, Michael Conforto, Tommy Edman, and Hyesung Kim. All right, we are back. That was a heck of a shot from Mason Wynn. Unfortunate that the catch was made by Kim. First pitch to Will Smith is in there for a strike, 0-1. So we're starting out the fourth inning. Cardinals still have not scored. Three to nothing LA. Here's the 0-1. Up and in with the sinker, swing and a miss, 0-2. Will Smith had a pretty hard hit single earlier in the day. Misses outside with a slider. It's 1-2. Will Smith also came around to score a run earlier in the game on the Kim triple. The 1-2 pitch. Q shot the other way, foul ball, 1-2 still. On Will Smith. Smith hitting .323 with a .916 OPS. McGreevy is ready. Here's the 1-2 to Will. Fouled away at the top of the zone again. So Smith making McGreevy work here. Good foul balls from him. A couple to stay alive. Here's the 1-2. Right down the middle with the sinker, driven into right field, but is going to slide past a diving Barrero, and it's going to be extra bases for Smith. He is going to have an easy triple, and there's another man on third for the Dodgers. I really thought Barrero was going to be able to make that play, but it just got down a little too fast for him. Victor Scott would have made that play, but tough to make a comparison. That's what happens when you get used to having the fastest man in baseball on your roster. So, runner on third, nobody out. First pitch is in there for a strike to Michael Conforto. It's 0-1. Strikeout could still save the Cardinals here. Let's see what McGreevy has for Conforto. The 0-1 pitch. Low and in with the slider, 1-1. Over in Detroit, the Tigers have now taken a 4-0 lead over the Cubs. So probably about the same odds in that one that the Cubs lose as the Cardinals. But let's hope the Cardinals can fight back. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Conforto. Misses low and away with the sinker, 2-1. Conforto has been struggling this year as a 167 average. 2-1 pitch. Check swing foul, 2-2. McGreevy is ready. The 2-2 pitch to Conforto. He is low and away with the slider, 3-2. So another full count. McGreevy threw 3 innings so far. This is the 4th. Has 61 pitches thrown. This will be pitch number 62. Here it is to Michael Conforto. Pulled into the air in right field. Burleson is there. Makes the grab, but it's likely to score Will Smith, but they will not send him. So, good throw from Burleson, and tough decision by the Dodgers there. That'll keep Will Smith at third, and that's going to bring up Tommy Edman. So a little bit of a risk there from the Dodgers. They're putting it all on Edman to be able to get this run in. Edman is 1 for 1 today with an RBI and a run scored. We'll see if McGreevy can settle down and get this out. First pitch to Edman. Inside, squibbed down the third baseline for a hit. That will score the run. It is 4-0 Dodgers with a stand-up double for Tommy Edman. So Edman had no trouble with that one. Q shot down the left field line. It was an inside-out swing off the top of the bat. Spun it down the third base line. And Arenado was playing him to pole. Smith actually followed the ball before turning around and running home, as he probably thought Arenado was playing closer to the line. So now a man on second with 1 out for Hai-Sung Kim. Here's the first pitch from McGreevy. Right down the middle for a strike, 0-1. Kim already has a triple in this one. Does have 2 home runs on the year, so cycle watch might be being called if he gets another hit here. The 0-1 pitch is low and away, 1-1. Another guy to watch out for is Will Smith. He has a single and a triple as well. So a double and a home run would be necessary for Smith. As Cardinals fans, we can just hope they don't do that. McGreevy ready for pitch 66, the 1-1 to Kim. He is downstairs with the slider, 2-1. Kim is 8 for 13, which is a .615 batting average and a home run with runners in scoring position. Cardinals are playing him to pole. Here's the 2-1 to Kim. Swing and a miss on a fastball up in the zone, 2-2. Kim did fill in for Edman while Edman was out at second base. So that's where a lot of his defensive metrics are measured. You wonder if he's just a really good center fielder. Because he made a nice running grab in the bottom of last inning, the 2-2. Swing and a miss on a fastball above the zone, and down goes Kim. So 2 outs with a man on second for Shohei Ohtani. First pitch to Shohei. He's in there at the bottom of the zone with the slider, 0-1. Ohtani is 1 for 2 so far in this one. Started the game out with a double. And he went down his last time up. McGreevy steps off. Still 0-1. Edman with a decent-sized lead at second. The 0-1 pitch is fouled back, 0-2. So an 0-2 count with 2 outs in the 4th. If McGreevy can get this out, it'll just be a 1-run per inning start to the game in the first 4 innings for the Dodgers. Shohei looks like he's trying to adjust his armband. McGreevy's ready. Pitch 71. The 0-2 is up and away for a ball, 1-2. So McGreevy already up above 70 before finishing the fourth. That means at most he'll get through 6 innings here. I expect him to just get through the fifth. Don't expect to let him face the top of the order again after this for sure. Here's the 1-2. Downstairs with the slider, 2-2. He struggled with the bottom half of the order. I would say let him face until Hernandez. Here's the 2-2 to Ohtani. Just downstairs, 3-2. Really close pitch there. It's one that he's not given either pitcher, so you can't complain about it. 3-2 pitch to Shohei. Popped up. Playable at short. Win will be called off by Nootbaar, and Nootbaar makes the grab. So we'll go to the bottom of the fourth. It is 4-0 Dodgers in St. Louis today. But a decent chance to come back. Let's see. It'll be Donovan, Contreras, Herrera, Arenado, Burleson. Those are a lot of hitters. Hopefully the Cardinals can get something started in the fourth. Curious about the lefty-lefty splits between Kershaw and his opponents. Okay, against right-handed hitters. Let's see. The opposing OPS is 596, and against lefties it's 564. So he's been better lefty-lefty, but not by too much. See his numbers in St. Louis. I bet they're pretty good because the playoffs kind of got to him in like the 7th inning, but in the regular season, I can't remember a time Kershaw pitched bad against the Cardinals. .592. Yeah, that's about where his averages are. .287 ERA, that's pretty good. In Busch Stadium, 687. So that's a lot worse as a pitcher. Still really good, though, obviously. All right, Brendan Donovan stepping up to the plate. Here we go in the fourth. First pitch is in there for a strike with the slider, 0-1. Missed outside. With the next couple pitches, it's 2-1 on Donovan. Donovan is 1 for 1 today, hit a double back in the first. So he might see Kershaw pretty well. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on a slider low and in, 2-2. I believe Donovan is a career 2 for 3 against Kershaw. So that's not a bad history. You can tell your kids about that. Here's the 2-2 from Kershaw to Donovan. Pulled, but easy play at second base for Edman. He makes the play, 1 out in the fourth. So that's going to bring up Wilson Contreras. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He struck out on a really well-placed pitch his last time up. He thought it was ball 4. First pitch to Contreras. He is upstairs 1-0. Second pitch. Outside 2-0. So if the Cardinals can continue to work some decently long at-bats, they can prevent Kershaw from going too far, but he's already at his 50th pitch of the game in the fourth, so that's pretty efficient so far, the 2-0. Right down the middle, pulled high in the air to left field. Easy play for... Who is that today? Conforto. That's the second out. So that's going to bring up Ivan Herrera with nobody on and 2 outs. Herrera is 0 for 1 with a strikeout so far in this one. And doesn't have much to work with here in the fourth. First pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-1. The 0-1 to Herrera. He's in there for a strike at the top of the zone with the slider, 0-2. They're trying to see a couple pitches, but it's going to bite him as Kershaw's attacking. The 0-2 pitch is downstairs with the slider, 1-2. At this rate, Kershaw could go 7 innings. The 1-2 is upstairs, 2-2. You wonder if they have him on a smaller pitch count, given how old he is, but usually that goes the other way. The older pitchers are willing to go deep into games. I bet he's willing to go 90 plus. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Curveball just upstairs. Let it slip out of the hand. It's 3-2. Timeout called by Herrera. So yeah, you could expect probably 7 innings from Kershaw, maybe 6. Here's the 3-2 to Herrera. Pulled into the gap for extra bases. That's going to be a double. Easy stand-up double for Herrera. He hit that one a mile. Unfortunate for the Cardinals that one was on the ground because he really squared it up well. Decent launch angle, but more of a line drive, and that's why it was only a double. So here comes Arenado with Herrera on second, and 2 down in the fourth. Chance to pick up an RBI here, try to get the Cardinals back into the game. Decent history against Kershaw. The first pitch is upstairs with the curveball, 1-0. Second pitch to Arenado. Pulled, easy play at third base for Muncy. And we go to the fifth. It is still 4-0 LA in St. Louis so far today. Great outing for Kershaw so far. 58 pitches through 4 innings. All right. So it's going to bring up Mookie. Still squares it up as much as anybody. We've looked at this a few times at this point. Good outs above average for Mookie. Drafted in 2011. That's a year the Cardinals remember really well. 32 years old now. Can grab Teoscar while we're here. Another really nice line, 793 OPS, 4 batting run value, good expected batting average. Some of the peripheral stats that are like strikeout and walk rate are not great for him. 23.9% strikeout rate, only a 3.4% walk rate. It's going to pull him down a little bit, but the contact numbers are good. All right, we're back. McGreevy throws the fastball on the first pitch, gets a strike, gets 0-1. Trying to work against Mookie Betts here. He's been robbed twice in this game. Here's the 0-1. Popped foul, it's 0-2. His first time up, Mookie lined out to third on an absolute rocket. Second time up, he hit a ground ball into the hole up the middle. And Mason Wynn ranged all the way out, made a spinning throw to first, and made the play. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Got him on the upper outside corner. Down goes Betts, and there's one down in the fifth. Perfect pitch up and away. Betts is just getting unlucky today. So that's the third strikeout of the day for McGreevy. That'll bring up Freddie Freeman with 1 out and nobody on. First pitch is low with the curveball, 1-0. Over in Milwaukee, the Padres do lead 1-0 in the 8th. And the Tigers still lead 4-0 over Chicago. 1-0 changeup, miss low. It's 2-0 now on Freddie. This is going to be pitch number 80 from Michael McGreevy. The 2-0 is rocketed over to third. Arenado makes the play. And down goes Freddie. So both Freddie and Mookie have experienced the defensive capability of the Cardinals' corner infielders so far this year in Nolan Arenado and Wilson Contreras. A lot of good defense, which has held the Dodgers to just the 4 runs through 4 2/3 so far. I say just like it's not a huge number of runs, but that's due to the super capable offense. Here's the pitch. Ground ball up the middle. Donovan is there. And we'll go to the bottom half of the 5th. It is 4-0 LA so far in this one. So Burleson, Pajes, Barrero. See if the Cardinals can get an unlikely rally going. Burleson, 759 OPS, 5 home runs, 3 stolen bases, 289 average. That's pretty good. He's going to be due up first. You have Pedro Pajes. Really nice defensive catcher. He's been good the last couple days. Only -3 batting run value. That's not too bad. Good fielder. This is what you like to see. The catching numbers all above average. That is what you want as a defensive catcher. Game will be back in just a second. First pitch was a slider to Burleson. In there for a strike. It's 0-1. This is the 60th pitch of the game for him. Missed downstairs, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Top of the zone, driven the other way for a base hit. Burleson is 2 for 2. Nice swing there for Burleson. Waited on that fastball to travel, put the barrel on it, let it go the other way. Really, really nice piece of hitting and a great approach. So now one man is on with nobody out in the 5th. Let's see if Pajes can have a nice long at-bat here. He struck out his last time up. First pitch is downstairs with the fastball, 1-0. Kershaw ready to go again. The 1-0 pitch pulled through the gap at third base and short for another hit. There's 2 men on with nobody out in the 5th, and the Cardinals might have something going. Barrero's a really speedy 9-hitter, so a potential bunt opportunity here. Another thought process could be just let Barrero swing, try to find another gap. Barrero is 0 for 1 with a strikeout, but he has a good chance here. This is the at-bat that matters. 2 men on, nobody out in the 5th. Top of the order coming up after Barrero. Let's see what he can do. It is a 4-0 game in favor of LA right now. This could be the Cardinals' biggest chance to dent that lead. Here's the pitch. Low and in, popped up the other way, out of play, 0-1. This is where maybe a surprise bunt sign would be a fantastic move. Barrero is getting ready. Might not be a capable bunter. The 0-1. Swing and a miss on a curveball way low and away. Not your best swing, but it is what it is. 0-2 on Barrero. 2 men on, nobody out. Let's see if he can move them over or stay alive here. The 0-2 pitch. Curveball at the top of the zone. He did not. It is 1-2. Barrero getting the start in center field as a lefty-lefty against Victor Scott hasn't gone too well this year. And it gives Scott a day off. The 1-2 from Kershaw. Low and in with the fastball, just missed inside, 2-2. So a couple close pitches, but Barrero is back into the at-bat. Let's see if he can put a good swing on one of these. Kershaw getting ready. For pitch 68, the 2-2 to Barrero with 2 men on. Downstairs, it's 3-2. That was a slider. So that sets the stage with Pajes on first, Burleson on second, Nootbaar on deck. 3-2 count on Jose Barrero, the center fielder for the Cardinals. Kershaw's ready. Here's the 3-2. Popped up. Foul ground. And caught by Freddie Freeman. He turns around and makes a quick throw over to third, as he probably had a flashback to last night when the Cardinals tried to nab home plate from him and were able to do it. Good awareness by Freddie there. I'm actually really... that's really impressive. He really thought about the mistake he made yesterday. Was sure to not make it again. Quickly snapped around and made the throw to third. That was really smart. So shout out to Freddie Freeman for that. That's going to bring up Lars Nootbaar with 2 men on and 1 man out in a 4-0 Dodger ball game so far. So the defense is playing Newt Bar to pull, as usual. Big hole on that left field side. First pitch here from Clayton Kershaw to Lars Nootbaar with 2 men on. Swing and a miss on a slider below the zone. It's 0-1. Nootbaar is 0 for 2 so far today. Does have a strikeout and a foul out. So looking to put the ball in play for the first time in the game. Now would be a great time to do it. Here's the 0-1. Up and in with the curveball, 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss on a slider low and away, 1-2. So Kershaw continues to get swings on those down and away sliders. Dodgers already getting Lou Trevino ready in the bullpen. That's a really smart move by Dave Roberts. Here we go. The 1-2 pitch to Nootbaar. Fouled off. Nootbaar will stay alive. We'll have to do it again. I think in the back of Dave Roberts and Clayton Kershaw's minds, they're both thinking they should have pulled Kershaw before that 7th inning. Those couple of times he blew the lead, and they never make that mistake in the regular season. Here's the 1-2. Check swing outside. Yes, he did. I don't agree, but they're going to call Nootbaar down on strikes. And he didn't seem to have any words about that, so maybe he did. Let's take a look. I think he did. Yeah, that was just barely a swing by Nootbaar. Yeah, he went. So two down, 2 on. And that is going to bring up Mason Wynn, who was robbed in the gap by Haesung Kim his last time up. Chance to drive in a run or 2 here and get the Cardinals back into the game. Pitch 75 of the day for Kershaw. Here it is. Downstairs with the curveball, 1-0. I will say I would have probably taken Kershaw out before facing Wynn again after that rocket from last time. But he's at 75 pitches. He's pitched really well. Not too big of a threat here. So as long as he doesn't give up a homer, the Dodgers won't regret it. And anyway, he only blows games in the playoffs, so he's probably going to throw a great pitch here. Here's the 1-0 to Win. Upstairs, 2-0. It is really, really awesome to see a Hall of Fame pitcher still going at it, though. So nothing but respect there. 2-0 pitch from Kershaw to Win. Caught the lower outside corner with the fastball, 2-1. This is where Wynn's probably going to be hunting either a fastball or a curveball here. Kershaw getting ready. Here's the 2-1 pitch with 2 men on. Outside with the fastball, 3-1. Brendan Donovan waiting on deck. Big chance to swing it here for Mason Wynn. He has that locked in face on. I would be expecting a swing here. Here's the 3-1 to Win. Right down the middle, pulled fair down the third base line. It's going to be cut off by Conforto, but Burleson's going to come in to score, and it's going to be a double for Mason Wynn. So there's runners at second and third, and the Cardinals have a run. It is 4-1 LA. So this is where you got to just pull Kershaw. His stuff is not moving the way it was at the beginning of the game. And you have Brendan Donovan coming up, one of the hits leaders in baseball. Smart move here would be to pull him now. But you do have lefty-lefty, so we're kind of hoping that Dave Roberts takes the chance, and it looks like he will. So maybe he never learned from any of it. And here comes Kershaw versus Donovan. 2 men in scoring position. Here's the first pitch. Curveball right in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Kershaw attacking Donovan. Cardinals are 4 for 8 with 2 outs today. Looking to take that over 500 here. Kershaw getting ready. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Top of the zone, driven the other way. And into the seats. It's 0-2. So Kershaw way ahead of Donovan now. Chance to get through the 5th. He's at pitch number 82. Donovan is ready. So is Kershaw. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on a slider up and away. That was a rough swing from Donovan, but it would have been a strike either way. Cardinals do get 1 back, but we're hoping to get a couple more. They stranded them both. We go to the 6th. It's 4-1 LA. Oops. All right, so Teoscar, is Teoscar hidden first? No, it's going to be Muncy, Will Smith, Conforto. I think that we should just be done with McGreevy in this one. It's going to be lefty, righty, lefty. And then you have Edman. So the Cardinals do have a couple of bottom of the bullpen arms. Swanson, King, JoJo. I think JoJo right here would be a good move. While the game's still close, you go to JoJo first, and then if the Cardinals can't battle back in the bottom half of the 6th, you can try to stretch out King or Swanson. I would try to keep it close now, so that if the Cardinals can get back into the game, then you have the rest of your bullpen becomes available because it's a close game. Based on situational decision making. So yeah, that's what I would do here, is just go to JoJo Romero. But I wouldn't be surprised to see McGreevy. He's thrown 81 pitches. I mean, him and Kershaw have thrown about the same amount. Kershaw at 82 for 52 strikes, and McGreevy at 81 for 53 strikes. So about the exact same efficiency. And McGreevy's still in the game, so it'll be him against Muncy. I could see why they're doing this. It's just purely because there's not a great matchup decision for the bullpen here. I would probably be going with JoJo, but this is okay. Here's the first pitch. Ground ball foul, 0-1 on Muncy. Second pitch, fouled back, 0-2. Padres still lead 1-0 over the Brewers. That one about to finish up. Here's the 0-2 pitch. In the dirt against Muncy. It's 1-2. That was a slider. McGreevy at 84 pitches, so this will be his last inning, one way or another. Muncy, Will Smith, and Conforto. The 1-2 is downstairs, 2-2. Two-two pitch. Swing and a miss on a cutter up and away against Muncy. Down he goes. That's another strikeout for McGreevy. Puts him at 4 on the day. So 1 man down, nobody on. That will bring up Will Smith. Will Smith has reached base in both at-bats so far. He's 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored. Has a triple and a single. Cutter caught the outside corner. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. Down and away with the slider. 1-1. McGreevy is ready once again. The 1-1. Outside 2-1 on Will Smith. Smith has 5 home runs this year, 33 RBIs, 934 OPS with a 2.3 WAR. That's going to be a heck of a season if he keeps it up. Here's the 2-1. Up and in, fouled back, 2-2. You always wonder how catchers win the MVP, but then you start seeing him hit like this. Obviously, he has a couple of MVP candidates on his team that are not him. So it's really tough when you play on the Dodgers to really shine, but Will Smith, a really great hitting catcher, year in and year out. Here is the 2-2 pitch to Will Smith. Upstairs, it's 3-2. McGreevy up above 90 pitches now. Ready for another. Here's the 3-2. Right down the middle, popped up. Playable at first base for Contreras. He makes the grab, 2 outs in the 6th. And that will bring up Michael Conforto. It'll be a Michael versus Michael matchup here, as McGreevy tries to turn it into a 6-inning start with 4 runs allowed. Not his best of his career, but leaves the game winnable for the Cardinals, and that's all you can ask. Here's the pitch to Conforto. Outside with the sinker, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. Inside, 2-0. Couple of sinkers. Let's see if McGreevy can find the zone or switch it up here. Tommy Edman is on deck. Two-0 pitch in the shadows is pulled. Fair down the right field line for a base hit. And Conforto has his first hit of the day. I believe it's his second hit of the series. That one was in on the hands, and he just wrapped the bat around it. Same thing that Kim did earlier today. So maybe McGreevy could work on getting some more vertical movement on those inside pitches to lefties. I think that would help him out. And we have a timeout here. Pajes going up to talk to McGreevy. He's at 95 pitches. It's Tommy Edman at the plate, so I don't know who they would be going to if not Swanson. McGreevy probably gets to face Edman here. Final at-bat of the day. And by that I mean final at-bat, final hitter that McGreevy is going to be facing. Edman is 2 for 2 today with a couple of RBIs. First pitch is in there for a strike. Edman has a single and a double, so if he could hit a triple, he would be on cycle watch as well. Although nobody's extended their cycle watch so far. Here's the 0-1. Outside, 1-1. So it doesn't look like we'll see a cycle today, unless Edman can show us something here. It'd be really cool to have him hit a cycle in St. Louis. 1-1 pitch to Tommy. Popped up. Behind the plate. Pajes watches it go into the seats, so it's 1-2. That one just crept over the net. I believe it hit a fan in the hat, and she is okay. McGreevy will check on Conforto real quick. Contreras does the little sly fake back throw. Never works for him, but I've seen it work against Matt Carpenter, so sometimes it works. 1-2 pitch this time from McGreevy to Edman. Up and away for a ball, 2-2. Two-two pitch. Popped up foul, and that was pitch number 100 for Michael McGreevy. In case you were wondering if he was done, this is going to be it. Let's see if he can finally get Edman. Close it out with a good out here. Cardinals playing Edman to pull. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss on a fastball up and away. Down goes Edman. McGreevy closes out his day with a strikeout. It's a 6-inning, 4-earned-run game. Puts him at a total of 5 strikeouts. It'll be Contreras, Herrera, Arenado in the 6th. I wonder if Kershaw will stay in this one. I mean, I thought he should have already come out, but maybe. Let's see. So they were warming up a bullpen member. Let me see who that was. Lou Trevino, I believe it was. So I'm going to grab his numbers just in case we see him. It is 3 righties coming up, so of course it would make sense to bring in the right-hander. He hasn't been great. Has a 0 pitching run value this year. 3.74 ERA, 1.2 whip. And last year he was bad, -5 pitching run value. That was 2022. So maybe they pulled him up from the minors, trying to get some innings out of him. Does prevent hard hits and exit velo, so it's soft contact, but ground ball rate at just 40.3%. Cardinals are really good at finding line drives, and he does give up barrels, so with an expected ERA at 4.59, that probably wouldn't be the guy to go to here. Wouldn't be surprised if it's who they go to, though, because he was warming up. And they do have a big enough lead that maybe you go Trevino. Try to get him through this 1 inning against all the right-handed hitters. I think if you're the Cardinals, though, that's what you're looking for. Little opportunity like this, so hopefully that's what happens. Does have good breaking ball and off-speed stuff, so everything but the fastball. Which means the fastball is the thing that gets driven. Kershaw was great today. It looks like he is done, and it probably will be Lou Trevino, and it is. So here we go. Trevino against Wilson Contreras. He has a 3.74 ERA. We just went through it. He's given up 4 home runs in 19 games, so a little bit of a home run threat here. First pitch to Contreras. Inside, but called a strike. It's 0-1. Really nice job by Will Smith today. He's framing up a few close pitches. Here's the 0-1. Low and away. Perfect pitch. Fouled off. It's 0-2. Cardinals looking to just keep chipping into this 3-run deficit. And Trevino's a guy you might be able to get to and make it a closer game. He's getting ready. Here's the 0-2. Fastball at the top of the zone, fouled back. We'll do it again. Ivan Herrera is on deck. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Contreras. Pulled foul. We'll have to do it again. So good at bat from Contreras so far, making Trevino work for the out. Here's the 0-2. Upstairs, 1-2. Nice job by Contreras, staying composed, seeing the ball well. See if he can put the bat on one here. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Ooh, but he fouled it off. He went down and tapped that one with the bat. That was in the dirt. I thought for sure there was no chance he could reach it. He was able to put the tip of the bat on that one and stay alive. Great job by Contreras. The 1-2 once again is pulled high in the air to left field. That one's deep and off the top of the wall. It's going to be extra bases for Contreras. He has a double, and the Cardinals are in business in the 6th. As I was saying, Trevino is a guy who can give up some powerful barrels, and that is one to start off the 6th. Just left an off-speed pitch at the top of the zone. Really bad pitch. Really good job by Contreras to just put the barrel on it and let the swing motion do the work. So Contreras on second. That's going to bring up Ivan Herrera with a runner on second and nobody out. Here's the pitch. Inside, 1-0. Herrera had a double back in the 4th. He's 1 for 2. Second pitch to Ivan. Instead, Trevino checks on Contreras. That's his first disengagement. So Herrera's ahead in the count. Chance to drive the ball here. The 1-0 pitch. Up and in, driven the other way. That's going to be a base hit. A very slow moving base hit. Contreras will stop at third. The Cardinals have runners at the corners with nobody out in the 6th. They really are in business, and here comes Arenado against a man who does give up hard contact. If he hangs something here, this game could be very close very quickly. Keeping the train moving, we saw Herrera do the little choo-choo motion. See if Arenado can keep it going. Runners at the corners, nobody out in the 6th, a 3-run deficit. Here comes Nolan Arenado. First pitch from Lou Trevino. Outside, check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. It's 0-1. Not a great job by Arenado there. He checked the swing. It looked like he didn't go, but then he held the bat out and accidentally brought it further almost. So didn't look good. Of course, it looked like a check swing that did go. So 0-1. Here is the second pitch to Arenado. Outside with the sweeper, 1-1. You can't really pitch around Arenado with Burleson on deck. So Trevino's going to have to make a pitch against Nolan here. Arenado is 0 for 2 so far. Here's the 1-1. Missed downstairs with the sinker. It's 2-1. Risking a high barrel rate against these 3 hitters is not advisable. And Trevino's down in the count 2-1. Here's the pitch to Arenado. Hung a cutter over the middle of the plate, but it was fouled back. He probably wants that one back. 2-2. Rally opportunity for Arenado here. 2-2 count. Here's the pitch from Trevino. Hanging sweeper, but it was outside. Nice pitch from Trevino. Arenado popped it up, and Muncy makes the play at third for the first out of the sixth. Is that going to be it for Trevino? I would assume so. Dave Roberts is still sitting in the dugout, though. So maybe they leave him in to face Burleson, Pages, Barrero. All right, here we go. Burleson, he's 2 for 2 with 2 singles. Now he's going to face Trevino. Here's the first pitch. Outside with the cutter, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Alec Burleson. Up and away, 2-0. I'm not a big fan of leaving a guy in if he's performing poorly. Like, it makes sense to leave him in if he's not doing well, but against lefties, Trevino has 4 home runs allowed, a 1.034 OPS allowed, and a 333 opposing average. He's also pitching poorly so far today. Here's the 2-0. In there for a strike, up and away with the cutter. It's 2-1. That was a perfect pitch. But his stuff is drivable, and Burleson's the perfect guy to do it. Runners at the corners with 1 out in the 6th. The Cardinals trail by 3. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Up and away, 3-1 on Burleson. It is a 4-1 Dodger lead in the 6th inning. Cardinals trying to rally back. Count is 3-1 on Burleson, with Pedro Pages on deck. Let's see if they give him something to hit. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Up and in, pulled, foul, 3-2. Burleson is settling in. Here we go. The 3-2 pitch to Burleson. Instead, Trevino steps off. So here we go. Runners at the corners, 1 out. We'll set the scene once again. 3-2 count on Burleson. Here's the pitch. Reaches out and pops a changeup high in the air to center field. Kim is out there, makes the catch. And 1 run's going to come in to score. But that is all. It's 4-2. LA now in the 6th. The Cardinals manufacture yet another run. And here comes Pedro Pages. Decent job there by Burleson. Maybe hoping for a little bit more, but still have a base runner with 2 outs. Here comes Pedro Pages, as the Cardinals have chipped into the lead once again. Trevino still in the game. Still barrelable stuff, so maybe Pages can make the swing. Here's the pitch. Right down the middle with the cutter. It's 0-1. Pages calls time. Gives himself a minute. Here's the 0-1 to Pedro Pages. Low and in, pulled to third base. Muncy is there, and Trevino gets out of the inning. Does give up 1 run on a couple of hits. And the Cardinals have chipped back into it. It's 4-2 LA through 6. So I do want to play the bullpen game real quick. 2 up for the Dodgers. It looks like it's going to be Kim, Ohtani, and Betts. That is lefty, lefty, righty, lefty. So now would be a good time to go to the left-hander, which is Jojo Romero. So I'm going to pull him up and see if that's what happens. I'll be back in just a moment. You guys go? All right, I am back. Let's see if it's JoJo. It's going to be no way. Oh, is that John King or is it McGreevy still? It's John King. Okay. So they just went with a different lefty. King hasn't gotten work in a while. It makes sense. King, 1.5 whip, 3.38 ERA. He's been all right. Not a terrible choice here. First pitch to Kike Hernandez is driven over to first base. And there's one out in the seventh. So Kike pinch hit, didn't work out. Now it's Shohei Ohtani. First pitch, ground ball. Shortstop, Mason Wynn, 2 outs. So 2 pitches, 2 outs for John King in the 7th inning, and that's going to bring up Mookie Betts. 3-pitch innings are a very rare sight to see. Let's see if Mookie makes him throw more than one. King getting ready. First pitch to Betts. Here it is. Betts was taken the whole way, and it was a ball. It's 1-0. So that was some gamesmanship there from Mookie. Not trying to jump on that first pitch and get him out of the inning too quickly. Here's the pitch. Top of the zone, pulled high in the air to left field, high and deep, and gone. Oh, yeah, I believe that's a home run for Mookie Betts. Solo shot, and it is 5-2, LA in the 7th. Not his furthest hit ball. It barely got over that corner wall. But it is still a homer, nonetheless. Doesn't matter how far you hit it. Came back immediately, so I thought maybe it wasn't even a homer, but just got it over that sliver wall in the corner at 336. So probably hit it about 345. Here's the first pitch to Freeman. Low and away, it's 1-0. So it's 5-2 Dodgers. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Freddie. Swing and a miss on a sinker. It's 1-1. Another pitch. That one in there for a strike. 1-2. So King trying to do his job and at the very least get all the left-handed hitters that were due up. The 1-2 in the dirt. 2-2. He was able to get Ohtani. He was able to get Kike, who pinch hit for Kim. but unable to get Mookie Betts, who finally broke through after a tough day with a solo homer. Here's the 2-2 from King. Ground ball. King makes the play, flips it to first, and we go to the bottom half of the 7th. 1 run scored by the Dodgers on a solo homer, but still a 3-run game, and the Cardinals coming up. It's going to be Barrero and then the top of the order. I wonder if Victor Scott is going to be available to pinch hit. With Barrero being a righty, it's going to be righty, lefty, righty, lefty. So completely alternating. They're going to go with their best guy. And in this case, it's a 3-run lead. Could be Vesia, could be Kasperius. Could stick with Trevino, but I doubt they'll stick with Trevino. Actually, they pitched Kasperius yesterday. He didn't do too well. I think Kopech would make sense here. He's a really, really nice pitcher. So let's pull up Michael Kopech. 1.15 whip, 4 pitching run value. Great strikeout rate. Not a great walk rate. So maybe he wouldn't be a good matchup against the Cardinals. But Barrero's not a guy who's going to walk. Nootbaar could definitely draw a walk. Wynn probably won't walk. And Donovan's not a guy who's walked a lot this year, so I think Kopech here wouldn't be a bad idea if you're the Dodgers. But if you go to a righty, you can pinch hit Victor Scott here, if he's available. Something tells me Victor Scott's just getting the day off today. It's going to be Jack Dreyer. I think we've already seen him in this series. Left-handed pitcher. He's pretty good from what I remember. Yeah, 10 pitching run value. He's been excellent. 26 years old, 1.08 whip. Really low barrel rate. That makes a lot of sense. Coming in to face Barrero, Nootbaar, and Wynn. So here's Jack Dreyer facing the pinch hitter, Vlade. Here's the first pitch. Missed downstairs with the fastball, 1-0. So the Cardinals making an offensive pinch hit decision here. They're going to move Nootbaar into center, with Vlade playing in left from here on out. 1-0 pitch, top of the zone, fouled back, 1-1. Ryan Vlade has an .091 OPS this season. Hasn't had a hit yet, so he does have a walk. Let's see if he can get another on the year. Here's the 1-1. Fastball, swing and a miss, outside, 1-2. So he's taking over that number 13 that Matt Carpenter used to wear. Maybe he can use some of that spirit against the Dodgers in the 7th. Here's the 1-2. Fouled back, still 1-2. Matt Carpenter is the one guy you would love to have at the plate in the 7th against the Dodgers. Cardinals have experienced that a couple of times. Here's the 1-2 to Vlade. Hard hit ball to right field, but that one's going to be foul. Off of the State Farm sign. Still 1-2. If Vlade can at least make Dreyer work a little bit, which he's done so far, then maybe Nootbaar, Wynn, and Donovan can get something going. Try to continue to chip into that Dodger lead. Difference in the game is still that 3-run second inning. Here's the 1-2. Check swing foul ball. Good job by Vlade, staying alive. Heard there was a song with that title. 2. It says 2-2. I think it's still 1-2 on Vlade. Here's the pitch. Upstairs. Now it's 2-2. Don't believe what you see on your screen here. I believe it's 2-2. Next pitch to Vlade. Fouled off once again. Fantastic at-bat so far. Still 2-2 here. Unless I'm the one who has it wrong, but we'll see. The 2-2 pitch to Vlade. Fouled back again. What an at-bat from Vlade. He's really making Dreyer throw a lot of pitches. With the top of the order coming up behind him, this could be the thing that makes the difference. So no matter what happens, great job by Ryan Vlade here. Here comes the 10th pitch of the at-bat. Dreyer delivers. And it's hard hit and foul again. He really has channeled the Matt Carpenter. Wearing number 13 against the Dodgers in the 7th inning. He just does something. Carpenter in this spot in the playoffs in 2014 had a super long at-bat, over 10 pitches, where he proceeded to hit a double. Here's the 3-2. Upstairs, and that's a ball. Now it's 3-2, so I was right. Okay, he was still 2-2 earlier. I'm not the crazy one. The count keeper for the big leagues is the one making the mistakes. Here's the 3-2 now to Vlade. Fouled back again. What an at-bat right now. He's worked a full count, making Dreyer throw pitches, really showing that number 13 spirit. Let's see if we can draw the walk here. Big hole in the center of the infield, by the way. 3-2 pitch. Taken for ball 4. What an at-bat by Vlade. He reaches, and the Cardinals are in business in the 7th. 1 man on, nobody out. Here comes Nootbaar. Freeman gives him a little nod of respect. That's got to feel great. That was the most Matt Carpenter thing I've ever seen in my life from a right-handed hitter. He really is wearing that number 13 with pride. Here's the pitch to Nootbaar. Up and away, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch to Newt. Swing and a miss on a slider below the zone. It's 1-1. Nootbaar with a lefty-lefty matchup here. It'll be Mason Wynn and Brendan Donovan to follow. Let's see if Nootbaar can turn it around. He's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts so far in this one. Big at-bat here. The 1-1 pitch. Upstairs with the slider. 2-1. Dreyer's already thrown 16 pitches. Going to be on pitch 17 here. And this is just his second hitter after that incredible at-bat from Vlade. 2-1 pitch to Newt. He is in the dirt, 3-1. That was another slider. He can't seem to find the zone with that one. So Nootbaar might be able to look fastball, if anything. With Mason Wynn waiting on deck. 1 man on, nobody out. Here's the 3-1. Just caught the upper outside corner at 88 with the slider. 3-2. So Nootbaar's approach was smart there. It was a perfect pitch to lay off of. Let's see if he can make another one. The 3-2 pitch to Nootbaar. Right down the middle, smoked high in the air to right field, but it's going to be playable at the track for Hernandez, and there's 1 out. So Nootbaar made good contact there, but not a perfect angle. Just missed that one at the track, and that's going to bring up Mason Wynn. Wynn has had a good day today. He is 1 for 3, did drive in a run with an RBI double against Kershaw, also put one in the gap that was run down by Kim in center field. So they're going to talk to Dreyer here before the Mason Wynn at bat. Just making sure he doesn't make any mistakes. Having an at-bat like Vlade just had is just amazing. It is something that passes the torch to the whole lineup. Dreyer already on 20 pitches. That makes a really, really big difference. So let's see if that can affect him against Wynn. Here's the first pitch. Up and in with the fastball, swing and a miss at 93. It's 0-1. The mound visit might have settled him down a little bit, Jack Dreyer. He does have a 2.60 ERA. He's a really nice pitcher. There is a big gap in that left center outfield for the Dodgers. Here's the 0-1 to Mason Wynn. Right down the middle for a strike. It's 0-2. He took a fastball there at 92. Vlade is on first. It's 0-2 on Wynn with one out in the seventh. Here's the pitch from Dreyer. Curveball outside, fouled back, still 0-2. Brendan Donovan is on deck, so we're really looking for Mason Wynn to have a nice at-bat here and pass the torch. Big hole on that right side of the infield. Here's the 0-2. Taken for a ball up and away. 1-2. That was a fastball. Maybe he can wait on one and drive it the other way, or go barrel one here. Dreyer at pitch 24. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Wynn. Popped foul. We'll do it again. Still 1-2. Wynn does have an RBI in the game. Kirby Yates getting ready for the Dodgers, just in case this one gets closer. One man on, one man out. Let's see what Wynn can do here. The 1-2 pitch. Fouled away again. Still 1-2 on Wynn. Jack Dreyer at about 25 pitches. Might be able to set a record for the most pitches against 3 hitters here. Facing the minimum and having to throw this many pitches is absolutely incredible. The 1-2 to Wynn. Inside, pulled, but caught at third by Muncy. Good play over at the line. And there's 2 outs for Brendan Donovan. So Donovan, a guy who can work a count, also has that Matt Carpenter spirit in him. Here's the pitch. Upstairs, 1-0. See if he can carry on the tradition. Try to pass the torch here, give the Cardinals a chance to come back in this 7th inning. Dreyer at 27. Trying to get Donovan. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Right down the middle, but it's pulled up the middle for a base hit. They did not have him played to pull there. And there are now runners at the corners with 2 outs for Wilson Contreras. So that'll probably do it for Jack Dreyer, who had to work against Vlade there. And Contreras has a chance as the tying run in the 7th. Yep, here comes Dave Roberts, and here comes Kirby Yates. So let's grab his stats real quick. He's been really, really good this year. I already know that. But we'll leave this on the screen. Sorry, just sending a quick text because all of my friends loved that Matt Carpenter at bat many years ago. So just bringing up what Vlade just did there. So here comes Contreras against Yates. Let's see, is this going to come back? Yep. All right. Contreras as the tying run. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. In the 7th inning. Let's make sure we can get this live. Yep. All righty. Let's see if Contreras can tie this game. Donovan on first. Vlade on third. Contreras at the plate. Maybe he'll just drive in one, but anything you can do here to chip into the lead would help. Here's the first pitch. Low and away with the splitter. It's 1-0. Splitter's a tough pitch to go get. Let's see if Contreras can see something else. Here's the 1-0 to Wilson. Up and in with the fastball, swing and a miss. It's 1-1. That was a nice pitch from Kirby Yates. With 2 outs in the 7th, this is one of those spots where you feel like you really need to get at least one. Keep your team in the game. Keep churning out some runs. Give yourself a chance. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. The 1-1 from Yates to Contreras. Swing and a miss on a fastball up and away. It's 1-2. Yates has some really nice movement on his stuff. His arm slot is a little bit unusual. And it makes it tough for Contreras. But it's just 1-2. Still has a chance here. Yates is ready. Here's the pitch to Contreras. Fouled back, and we'll have to do it again. Good at-bat from Contreras. Trying to settle in, start seeing this stuff a little bit better. Really big moment in the game here. Contreras is going to call time. Rub some of that grip spray on. And step back into the box. Here we go. The 1-2 pitch to Wilson Contreras. Pulled, base hit up the middle. That's going to be a single, and 1 run's going to come in to score. It is 5-3 LA in the 7th. Great at-bat by Contreras. Kept his eye on the ball. Put it out there into center field, and Vlade scores the run that he deserves to score after that incredible at-bat. It's 5-3, and here comes Herrera. Herrera's the guy you want to see here. As Contreras might have been a little bit out in front of that ball, but put the end of the bat on it, lofted it over shortstop, and it is 5-3. Herrera in a spot where an extra base hit could tie the game. He does have a single and a double today. He's 2 for 3. Here's the first pitch from Yates to Herrera. In there for a strike at 95. It's 0-1. Herrera does have a strikeout in the game, but has left nobody on base all day. Doesn't plan to start now. Dodgers playing him to pull. Yates is ready. Here's the 0-1 to Herrera. Inside out swing on the splitter. Fouled off. It's 0-2. So the Cardinals have continued to put 1 run on the board after another. 5th inning, 6th inning, 7th inning. Let's see if they can get some more here. Down by 2. The 0-2 pitch to Herrera. Inside 1-2. That was just a fastball. Two on, two out in the 7th. Cardinals trail 5-3 to the Dodgers. The 1-2 pitch to Ivan Herrera. Low and away, 2-2. Nice at bat from Herrera, making sure that he gets something to hit. Herrera hits .294 in the 7th inning or later this year, which is actually below his average on the season. Does have 2 home runs in this spot, though. Here's the 2-2 from Yates to Herrera. Ground ball. Tough play at third for Muncy. He makes the throw and gets him by a step. And we'll go to the 8th. It is 5-3 LA in St. Louis. So a good job by Yates, but Contreras able to drive in 1. All right, so Teoscar, Muncy, and Smith. It's a 2-run game. So if you're the Cardinals, you're probably not using your top bullpen guys here, but you might be able to go to Maton. This is interesting. Teoscar, Muncy, and Smith. I mean, these in a lot of lineups, that would be your 3, 4, 5. Here, they're a little bit further down, but still incredibly threatening. In a lot of lineups, that, like, if you reorganize them, that's your 2, 3, 4. But either way, let's see. Oh yeah, I should pull it up on the stream. So over here, Cardinals options against righty, lefty, righty. And after Smith, it's going to be Conforto, so you don't really care that much. You probably go with a right-handed pitcher. But you don't want to go Maton, Leahy, or Helsley. It's Swanson or it's Maton. I bet it's going to be Swanson here. So I'm just going to pull up his numbers. Maton's already pitched in this series. Swanson has not. 3 pitching run value. Nice expected ERA and expected batting average. Good ground ball rate. I think it would make a lot of sense to go to him here. He's been pretty good. And he is going to be who the Cardinals go with. He's been surprisingly good, in my opinion. So let's see if he can keep that alive. It'll be Swanson versus Teoscar Hernandez, Max Muncy, and Will Smith. So here's Teoscar Hernandez. First pitch from Swanson is low and away, 1-0. Cardinals are trying to rally their way back into this game. Here's the 1-0 from Swanson. Low and away again with the sinker. It's 2-0. Teoscar is 0 for 3 so far with 3 ground outs. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Takes it again. It's 3-0. So Swanson's still struggling to find that command at the start of his outing here. Hopefully he finds it soon. 3-0 pitch to Hernandez. He is low and away, ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk to start out the outing for Swanson. That's definitely not what you like to see, but here comes Max Muncy. He made the double play sign, so maybe this was strategic, but I would bet my life savings that that was not strategic. So hopefully this works out. First pitch to Muncy. He is in there for a strike with a cutter at the top of the zone. It's 0-1. The Brewers did lose 1-0 against San Diego today. Cubs also lost 4-0 against Detroit. So potentially a good day for the Cardinals. Here's the 0-1 to Muncy. Ground ball. Diving Donovan does not get there. It's going to get through. It's going to be a base hit. And there's runners at first and second with nobody out in the 8th. Surprised Teoscar couldn't go first to third there, as it was a ground ball, so he could just be hustling the whole way. But it just got past that diving Donovan, right under the glove. So 2 men on, nobody out. And that'll bring up Will Smith. Here's the first pitch to Will Smith. Right down the middle for a strike at 97. 0-1. Smith has a single, a triple, and 2 runs scored today. He's 2 for 3. Count is 0-1 right now. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike with the sweeper at the bottom of the zone. 0-2. So 2 good pitches for Swanson. Ahead of Smith. Strikeout could be huge here, especially if you can get a ground ball from Conforto. Here's the 0-2 to Smith. Missed downstairs with the sweeper. It's 1-2. Time for a good pitch. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Will Smith. Goes down and fouls it off. Still 1-2. Swanson has a 3.09 ERA on the year. Ready to deliver the pitch here. The 1-2 from Swanson to Smith. Just upstairs with the sinker. It's 2-2. That was a very close pitch. Will Smith this season has grounded into 2 double plays, but that's on 45 chances, so he doesn't do it very often. Does a bat wave there, the 2-2. In there for strike 3 with the fastball at the bottom of the zone, and down goes Smith. That is 1 out in the 8th. Swanson does have a ground ball double play on 9 chances as a pitcher. And put a perfect one at the bottom of the zone there. So here comes Conforto. Conforto is 1 for 3 today. Here's the first pitch. Outside part of the plate for a strike. 0-1. Conforto has a single today back in the 6th. He got that on an inside pitch in on the hands. So maybe stay outside against him today. Here's the 0-1. Low and in, it's going to hit him. And that is good news for the Cardinals because it prevented the runners from advancing on their own, as that ball was going to skip away, and you'd rather have the bases loaded than runners in second and third, in my opinion, with 1 out in a game as close as this, because you just need the double play ball now. Can't really mess around with well, I guess it's Tommy Edman. So that's rough. I mean, this is the worst guy you could be facing. Tommy Edman always puts the ball in play. But he does have a strikeout today, so we'll see what Swanson has for him. Here's the first pitch. Ground ball foul. It's 0-1. So never mind. I mean, the hit by pitch probably wasn't great because you'd rather try to strike out Conforto than try to strike out Edman. But we'll see what Swanson has for him. The 0-1 pitch. Low and in with the sinker, 1-1. Liberatore made a catch with his hat in the dugout. The 1-1. Goes down and gets it high in the air to right field. That's going to drive in a run on a sac fly. So Burleson makes the grab. It is 6-3 LA in the 8th. Runners at the corners now. So Tommy Edman does his job, picks up an RBI. He'll finish today 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run scored. Great game for him. Actually, 3 RBIs. So a great game for Edman. And that's going to bring up Kike Hernandez as the 9-hitter. We'll see if Swanson can get this last out and hopefully get through another inning after this, potentially. Unless the Cardinals can come back and make it close. First pitch. Outside with the sweeper, 1-0. One 0 pitch from Swanson. Swing and a miss on a fastball at the bottom of the zone, 1-1. Pitch number 20 from Swanson to Kike is outside, 2-1. So Swanson up over 20 pitches now in his outing today. Only the 1 earned run so far. 2 outs here in the 8th. Here's the pitch. Missed down with the sinker is 3-1. Shohei Ohtani is waiting on deck, so maybe you could go to Jojo Romero, but ideally you just get this out. Here's a 3-1 to Kike. Driven the other way foul, it's 3-2. So this is where you got to go to your best pitch, put it in the zone. Try to send Kike back to the dugout here without driving in any more runs. Runners at the corners, 2 outs, top of the 8th. Here's the 3-2 to Kike Hernandez. It is outside, ball gets past Pajes. Run's going to come in to score. It's 7-3 Dodgers, and Kike has now reached first, so runners on first and second. That's a really rough one to give up there. He just pulled that pitch way too far out in front of him. And Pajes really should have been able to stop it. I'm going to call that a passed ball. It's a very rare passed ball on Pedro Pajes, giving up the run. And here comes Shohei Ohtani. Cardinals now down by 4. It is 7-3. First pitch, missed low and in once again. It's 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Ohtani. Up and in, it is smoked into the right field side and out of play. Thank goodness. It is 1-1. If that one stayed fair, this game would have been just about over. Either way, now it is a 4-run game, so still winnable for the Cardinals if they can pick up a big rally. Here's the 1-1 from Swanson to Ohtani. Catches the lower inside corner as Ohtani backed away from it. 1-2. Got the strike call there as a result of Ohtani backing up. Ohtani didn't like it. Here's the 1-2 from Swanson. Low and in, it's going to hit him. And it hit Ohtani in the foot, so the trainers are going to come out and speak to him. So will Dave Roberts. He puts his batting gloves in his mouth as if it's a gag. It's not really that painful from what I can tell. He's walking it off perfectly fine. Cleats are made out of pretty heavy material now. Feet don't get hit that hard. That one hit him on the lower inside part of the foot. Obviously, it's going to hurt. Anything that hits you at that speed on a fragile part of your body is going to hurt. But luckily for everybody in the game of baseball, it just clipped it. Didn't do any serious damage, so Ohtani is okay. So that's going to bring up Mookie Betts with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Betts did hit a solo shot his last time up. 99.7 miles per hour off the bat at 32 degrees for a 359-foot homer, so a little bit further than I thought. Here's the pitch. It's outside. 1-0. See if Swanson can get this out. Try to keep the Cardinals in the game. The 1-0 pitch. Top of the zone. Fouled back. 1-1. Betts has been robbed a couple times in the field today. Mason Wynn made a nice ranging play at short. And Arenado made a fantastic play over at third. Here's the 1-1 to Betts. Outside 2-1. Swanson's going to have to find the zone here. He is at 30 pitches today through just 2/3 of an inning. The 2-1 to Betts. Hit high in the air to center field, but catchable for Nootbaar. He will make the grab, and we'll go to the bottom of the 8th, but 2 runs more added by the Dodgers as the Cardinals try to sneak an inning through with Swanson, and it does not work. Both teams have 10 hits, but the Dodgers have capitalized better. 7 runs on 10 hits, compared to 3 for the Cardinals. So who's that going to bring up? Arenado. It'll be Arenado, Burleson, and Pages. Kirby Yates threw 10 pitches and had that long break. So with a 4-run lead, the Dodgers could really go to anybody. I still think Kopech is a good decision. But he was on the IL up until yesterday, so... Oh, wow, I didn't even know that this chart did that. This chart shows the recent pitching outings. So, like Vesia and Kasperius pitched yesterday. Kopech and Yates were on the IL through Friday, so maybe they get another day. But why would they bring him back if they don't want to pitch him? So let's take a look. Michael Kopech, 1.15 whip, 3.46 ERA. Wouldn't be a bad idea here. It's Arenado, Burleson, Pages, and Velade. So you do have 3 out of 4 right-handed hitters here. Could stick with Yates if he's still ready. Yates only got 1 out, but it was 10 pitches. And a very long break. So let's see. Tanner Scott coming into the game. So I'm going to grab his numbers for you. Isn't that the closer? I might be wrong, but left-hander, 1.12 whip, 4.40 ERA. He's been a little bit above average. They have him listed as the closer, so maybe he goes for a 6-out save, or maybe he lost his job. First pitch to Arenado was outside, 1-0. Second pitch. Inside, pulled over to third. Muncie's there and makes the play, 1 out in the 8th. So they're going to go to Tanner Scott, treating it like a save situation, I bet, as they need to get him an inning of work. Or maybe a couple. So 1 out. Here comes Burleson. Cardinals trail by 4 here. Here's the pitch. Up and away for a ball, 1-0. Second pitch is a fastball right down the middle for a strike, 1-1. Great pitch by Scott. Burleson does have 2 singles and a sac fly today. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1 and 2. So that puts him at 2 for 2 on the day, with a 298 average on the season. And Pedro Pajes waits on deck with 1 out and nobody on here, down by 4. Tanner Scott pitching to Burleson, the 1-2. Check swing, he did not go, 2 and 2. Here's the 2-2. Fouled back again, still 2 and 2. Burleson has had nothing but good at-bats today. Able to drive in a run his last time up. But that was prior to the Dodgers putting up a few runs, so they've protected their lead well. Here's the 2-2 to Burleson. Up and in, 3 and 2. That was a close pitch, but just missed. Pedro Pajes waiting on deck. 3-2 pitch to Burleson. Hard hit ball to center field, but it's playable. Nice running grab by Kike Hernandez, 2 outs. That was a really, really nice play on the run. Over the shoulder. That's going to bring up Pedro Pajes, trailing by 4 with nobody on and 2 outs. First pitch. Top of the zone, fouled back, 0-1. Velade is on deck. He had a great at-bat in that 7th inning. He might be able to start out the 9th if Pajes doesn't reach. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss on a slider inside. It's 0-2. A lot of big inning potential from the Cardinals if they can get Nootbaar, Wynn, and Donovan at the start of an inning. Here's the 0-2. Inside, 1-2. The way I see it, you try to get 3 out of 4 on base between Velade, Nootbaar, Wynn, and Donovan. And then you try to hit homers with Contreras, Herrera, Arenado, Burleson. So, decent opportunity there. If it goes that way, let's see. Here's the 1-2 to Pajes. Low and in, 2-2. Especially if they go for a 2-inning save for Scott. Could wear him down a little bit. Pajes awaits. Here's the 2-2. Ground ball. Mookie Betts is there. Tough throw, but does make the play for out number 3, and we go to the 9th. Still 7-3. LA. All right, let's see. So the Dodgers. Looks like, I believe Conforto was hit by a pitch. Yeah, so it's Freddie Freeman, Teoscar Hernandez, and Max Muncy. So lefty, righty, lefty. You really don't want to leave Swanson out there. Still have a chance in this one, although it's a 4-run deficit. I don't see a reason why you wouldn't pitch Jojo Romero here. I wouldn't be 100% shocked if we just stick with Swanson, but ideally you just go to Jojo, let him get 3 outs. So I will throw Jojo's stats up there and hope That's what we do here. So JoJo has a really nice ground ball rate. He's been above average this year with a 3.15 ERA. Whip is a little high at 1.45, but that's due to that high walk rate at 14%. Last season, his walk rate was 6.6%, so you can expect him to pull that back down and be a quality pitcher again when the time comes. But we'll see if JoJo gets the chance here or if Swanson continues. All right, Freddie Freeman walking up to the plate. Who is the pitcher? Still Swanson, so he's going to have to try to go to a second inning now. Timeout called by the umpire. Freddie is 0 for 4 today. The only Dodger without a hit that wasn't a pinch hitter. Actually, Teoscar also doesn't have a hit. So a couple of Dodgers with no hits are hitting in this inning. Freddie has a lineout, a strikeout, and 2 groundouts today. The 1-0 is fouled back, 1-1. One pitch. Swing and a miss on a cutter at the top of the zone. It's 1-2. The Mets lead the Rockies 8-2 over in Colorado. 1-2 pitch missed outside. 2-2 on Freeman. The Reds did beat the Diamondbacks today, so they're at 500. 2-2 fouled away. Still 2-2. Philadelphia did lose a game to the Pirates, so they sit at 37-28. Swanson is ready. Here's the 2-2 to Freddie. Way upstairs, 3-2. Full count pitch to Freddie Freeman. He is grounded foul, still 3-2. Freddie has not been good with a full count this year. He's 2 for 18 with 40% strikeout rate. Does have a 33.3% walk rate in these spots, so that puts him so he reaches, 7 walks? Okay, the 3-2. Swing and a miss on a sinker up and in, and down goes Freeman. So he has another strikeout there. Oh, yeah, that must have been 9 walks based on that rate. So I guess Freeman's all right in those spots, just walks a lot. But there's strike 3. One out, nobody on. Here comes Teoscar Hernandez. Here's the first pitch from Swanson. Up and away with the cutter, 1-0. Swanson is the long reliever for a reason. Trying to keep the Cardinals in this one. It's 2-0 on Teoscar Hernandez. Does have a walk back in the 8th, but has not recorded a hit today. Fouled back on the sinker, 2-1. Hernandez hitting .268 with 10 home runs this year. 1 out, nobody on. The 2-1. He's in there for a strike, 2-2. Swanson trying to put a stop on the Dodgers game at just 7 runs total, which is still obviously plenty. 2-2 pitch. Fly ball right field. Catchable. And Burleson is there and makes the grab. So there's 2 outs now in the 9th. That'll bring up Max Muncy. Muncy is 2 for 4 today. First pitch is inside, 1-0. Does have a couple of singles, scored a couple of runs. Also has a strikeout in the game. 1-0 pitch is low and in, 2-0 on Muncy. Svanson's at 46 pitches, so he's probably not going to be available for the next series for the Cardinals. They play the Blue Jays next, I believe. 2-0 pitch, inside, 3-0. Misses inside, and there's another walk for Muncy. He continues to walk 1 and 5 times, just like he usually does. And he is on with 2 outs for Will Smith. Will Smith is 2 for 4 today, does have a strikeout, a single and a triple, with 2 runs scored, and just a couple of left on base. So righty here, Svanson versus Smith. The first pitch, in there for a strike with the sinker, 0-1. One to Smith, missed low and away, 1-1. One pitch. Swing and a miss on a sinker, low and away. It's 1-2. Great job by Svanson there. One-two pitch. Swing and a miss on a sweeper, low and away. And down goes Smith. So we go to the bottom of the ninth. The Cardinals trail by 4. It'll be Velade and then the top of the order. Tanner Scott has already thrown an inning, so I don't know exactly what they're going to go with here. Cardinals have righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, righty, righty. So it's just best available pitcher. So here's the options. Yates and Scott were both already used, so they might stick with Scott. They might go to Vesia if he hasn't pitched. Well, Vesia pitched yesterday. Kopech would be a great option. Try to close this one out. I'm going to throw Kopech's numbers up there again because this is like a perfect opportunity to pitch him. But he does have a high walk rate, which is not good for this type of situation, so maybe they won't. Oops. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I had to miss the 9th inning. My bad, but the Dodgers did win it. 7-3. It was a Velade single and then a 1-2-3 top of the order. So just a great job by the Dodgers bullpen. Let's see if I can just put this back up. Oh, well, that's just their hitters, but that's the final box score. And it was closed out by Michael Kopech, so at least I made a good call there. 9 pitches, 7 strikes, 1 hit allowed, 1 strikeout for him. Cardinals failed to complete the sweep. The Dodgers were just better with runners in scoring position today. Put up those 7 runs. That 3-run second inning was the big difference maker. And the Cardinals still won the series, and we'll move on to Toronto to continue the homestand tomorrow.